about. The first one is about an African-American custodian in Washington, D.C. And his sole job is to take care of Abraham Lincoln. And he was a veteran of World War II. James Hudson cleans Abraham Lincoln every day behind the ears, under the nails, and near the corner of his mouth. Is that a smile? He sees General Lee's face in the back of Abe's head. James and Abraham were veterans, one of the Civil War, one of the foreign, but veterans of blood and shame, the same. This is written for every child that I know. It's written about my child. As a child, sunny Saturdays in the fall, clear, crisp, almost as exciting, as enjoyable as Friday nights, waiting their brother's coming. Anticipation, more appealing by far than the amazement and wonder of the actual. I don't explain any of these poems. You have to figure it out for yourself. Thank you very much. That's Alan. Thank you, Alan. This is written fairly recently, about 3 months ago. A finch with an orange breastplate. What a wonderful, joyful, colorful sighting on a rainy, gray Wednesday. Flitting with his feathered brethren among the rosemary until sighted. Up, up to the oak, watching and waiting. No threat. Then down, down upon the rosemary again to begin dancing once more. It's not long.
Nice.
This is written to my son, who died about 4 years ago. And anyone who has children, I don't wish that club to anyone. It's not a club that I really like to belong to, but it's true and it's there, so you deal with it. A friend of mine said I had a license to cry because I lost my son. So that's the name of this poem, A License to Cry, a title given by a friend. Not many have the right. It is given to only a chosen few. Lose a mother, father, the license is granted. Lose a home, your house, with all the memories locked within, quite possibly. A loyal canine friend, most definitely. And a son whom you never told how much you loved him as often as you should have, absolutely. David, who gave me the greatest bear hugs I had ever experienced, cracked every bone in my back and gently let me down with a kiss on my cheek, who hit jumper after jumper from the corner just like the busher. I cry today for you. I have a license to do so. No one can stop me. Yet I cannot think of you too often. It hurts. It hurts hard. I must think of something else quickly before your memory rekindles within me past thoughts of what might have been. And I begin to weep uncontrollably. I know I have the right and the license to do so, but it makes me weak. I lose my strength. And I need to move on down the road and wave goodbye to you today. This is just an hallelujah. I open myself to you, naked, alone, unafraid, a fragile, simple suppliant to the forces you control and to the beauty you share. I am at peace in the no and the now, and await and accept fully your continuous, constant change. Breathing in and breathing out, smiling on all behind, before, beyond me. Dotting no I's, crossing no T's, checking no boxes, neither accepting nor rejecting no one, neither liking, disliking, or commenting about anyone. Simply smiling on all and laughing with friends. A little known fact, most of you know William Clark, the explorer, William Clark. This is to Mr. Clark for Judith. He named the river in Wyoming after the woman he wanted to marry, and it turns out he was able to marry her. To William Clark for Judith. Have you ever had a river, clear and pretty, named after you? Judith did. It lies in Montana. with a note spoken upon it, "Will you marry me? Love, William." I never knew the Judith River in Wyoming was named after the woman he eventually married. I thought that was great. This is written for a friend who had his leg amputated and was the most remarkable person I have ever known. This is Grace after that, and his humor were untouched. Untouched. A friend saw a raven so black, dark as the darkest chocolate, his feathers, yet glowing, shining, gleaming, as bright as the morning sun, unwilted, unbended, one eye, one leg, cawing for all to hear. I am still here, and cawing at the sun. He later read that to me. It was remarkable. This is a dear friend of mine. Annie and I were friends 10 years. I met her near San Diego, alone, abandoned, divorced. What a love affair. We had unconditional every day. She was the only female I know with black and tan hair, and she did not tint it. It was natural and kinky. Annie loved walking in the park in the early morning. People would see us stop and compliment her natural beauty. She never said a word. I think she was too embarrassed. She would just look at them, and smile with those engaging, alert brown eyes. We understood each other's emotional makeup. If I yelled, became upset over nothing in particular, Annie would walk over to me, place her head on me, letting me know to let go. Just let go. Ventus secundus tinicursum. As the years passed and she began to lose her vision, she only heard the sticks. She stumbled occasionally over curves and cracks in the sidewalk. The sick stealthily stole her. A hospice was sought and found. She drove away and never looked back. And never looked back. At me, several days later, they found her on her bed, lying on her stomach. She could not rise. They called to her. She raised her head in the direction of the voice, but she would never stand up again and come to me when I beckoned her. Annie, come on, girl, come on. What a bitch she was, with a stubby tail. What a bitch life is when you lose a friend. That was my dog, Annie. I loved her. I absolutely loved her, almost as much as my wife, who the next one was about. I dreamt last night that Elsie walked up to me in the morning while I was in bed and kissed me on the head and asked, "Where should we go today? I want to walk everywhere with you." And when we returned, dance to the Killers all night long. Right, Elsie? Mm-hmm. This is written in Point Reyes, Northern California. Beautiful, beautiful beach. If any of you get a chance to go up there, it's a great place to hike and walk. You've been there?
Yeah.
It's great. South Beach, Veterans Day. Water, waves, thrashing, quiet thunder, wet sand, sticks, seaweed, kelp, all in balance, all balancing each other. Even the birds fly in rhythm. Above the waves, harmonious, wet, touching toes on South Beach. Written the same day for 3 friends of mine who served in Vietnam and fortunate were able to come back in one piece, so to speak. Veterans Day, a thank you long overdue. I was one of the guys who wasn't too in favor of the war, so I learned to appreciate what people go through. To Alex, my best friend, who just happens to be a Scottish baboon and is able to always make me laugh. All 3 individuals have that unique ability over me, who could never remember after a few drinks in the city where he had parked his car. Ironically, was assigned as a tank driver in country. I don't think he misplaced it. Who sided with a VC prisoner when all the rest wanted blood. Nobility and principle is the mark of a strong character. And that is my friend, AKM. For Charlie, one of the greatest lefties I have ever known, who was sent to kill Charlie. The Army must have seen his construction paper drawings, with whom I drank a 6-pack across from Fort Hamilton under the Verrazano Bridge at 6 a.m. on the day of his induction. waved goodbye to my grammar school friend and mate, not knowing whether I would ever see him alive again after the Nam. He smiled and returned the wave. To Ricky, who I think has flashes of the torment and who has recently begun to speak about it and decipher some of the code, who fought in the field and saw what no one should see, who is just now coming to terms, his own peace treaty with it all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for more than you will ever know in coming home and making me laugh. This is something recently in the news that I taught for 5-6 years, I guess. And children are very dear to me. And Newtown was not something I took very lightly. Newtown. Same old, same old. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. 20 children dead, just like that. Rat-a-tat-tat. Charlotte, Daniel, Olivia, Josephine, Anna, Dylan, Madeline, Catherine, Chase, Jesse, James, Grace, Emile, Jack, Noah, Carolyn, Jessica, Abiel, Benjamin, Allison. Limpless, still, cold, infant corpses. None are more abhorrent. Covered in yellow plastic, playing statues. In the snow-covered parking lot, just before Christmas, on their backs for the last time. They never moved, but moved others. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. Same old, same old. 20 children dead. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. Just like that.